Hey guys, welcome to Under the Arch Sports. I'm Eric Hobbs, here to talk about Missouri facing off with Alabama down in Tuscaloosa this week. Before we begin talking about that, please guys go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and on Spotify. Okay, yeah, pardon the mess, please. Just moving into the new place. There's a pile of books and stuff right here. There's boxes all over. I'm getting there. Just bear with me on that. Also, if you watch us regularly, David is normally with us. He's down Gulf Coast kind of area in New Orleans with a buddy. Going to be at the Alabama game on Saturday. Well, we tried to film this Tuesday night, and the hotel internet just wasn't having it. So he's passed along some thoughts, but you're stuck with me for this one. Anyway, I think you need to look at where Missouri is in terms of the big picture for this season. They're 6-1 going to Bama. What a lot of people were hoping for, if not expecting, but nowhere near the way they expected to be there. They thought, well, if Missouri gets to 6-1 at Bama, they'll be in the top 10, maybe. No. This is a Missouri team that has failed to impress pretty much all year. Three times Missouri has won and moved down in the polls, which I don't know if I've ever heard of happening before, but here we are. And for the college football playoff, a loss here means you got to win out against, easier games, but still some challenges to get to 10-2. With this schedule and the way things have shaken out, 10-2 is not going to cut it. David and I agree on this. We're convinced. And to us, it's just simple fact that if Missouri wants to get into the playoff, they have to win out. Meaning, yeah, Missouri has to go to Bama and come out with a W. Tall task, but we'll talk about what could happen there. The one thing that Missouri potentially could have going for it is some momentum and excitement and some energy. Those seem like small things, but you look to 2023, the Harrison Mevis 61-yard walk-off field goal against Kansas State and the Luke Bauer fake punt at Kentucky both served kind of as springboards and really, took the trajectory of the 2023 team from mildly up to top 10 Cotton Bowl and everything else that went with it. So using that, you look at last week, the Brady Cook Hospital game, the energy in the stadium changed. David was there and he told me, yeah, that was a different building, different atmosphere when Brady Cook one walked back out onto the sideline and then took the field again. You could hear it on TV. And then when they got the comeback, yeah, there's some energy around the program because of that. Just seeing Brady Cook persevere, lead a comeback with everything he's been through with the fan base and everything else, it could be worth something. You know, it may not be worth much though, because, well, he left the game because he was hurt. And that didn't magically change. There was somebody in the locker room post game recording what Drinkwitz was saying, and that got out. And based on that, it seems Brady Cook has a high ankle sprain. We don't know that officially, but based on the tackle that we saw, how he was reacting, and what Drinkwitz said, yeah, seems likely. High ankle sprain is what we're looking at for Brady Cook. That's just going to be there the rest of the year. So that's just part of the deal for the rest of the way here. That's going to affect his mobility. It's going to potentially impact, it, when he's trying to plant and throw, getting strength on the throw. So your deep game, your deep ball could be impacted. So all of that we don't know, but Missouri has to be ready for those things to be limited. Well, how do you help out a hurt quarterback, a strong running game? Give the ball to Nate Noel, except he is very iffy. Pete Thamels reported he's not going to play. PowerZoo.com reported that their source said it's not yet determined. Either way, even if Nate Noel can go, he's not going to be 100%. Frankly, it doesn't sound like he's going to go at all. I would lean toward Thamel on that one. It sounds like gamesmanship by Mizzou, if you ask me, trying to leave some hope, make Bama prepare for Noel just in case. But look for Marcus Carroll to be your starting running back with Jamal Roberts and perhaps even Kawan Lacey shedding the red shirt. We'll see what happens there. What that means for the Missouri running game is that stretch play, the patented stretch play that Nate Noel was so good at and Cody Schrader before him. That's not Marcus Carroll's game. He is more in between the tackles, a little more power. So will they try it? Yeah. Will they make Bama prove they can defend it? Yeah. Am I expecting it to be as effective as if a healthy Nate Noel were running it? No. That's a problem. Missouri is going to have no choice, I think, but to run the ball to what suits Marcus Carroll's game better. You got to roll with what you got, right? So I think you're going to see a lot more running in between the tackles and less outside running. Missouri's capable of that. They are a good run blocking team. Marcus Carroll's a good back. So we'll see what happens there. Robertson, perhaps Lacey, more involved. Interest. It's going to be fascinating to watch. Then you look at Brett Norfleet, the tight end. He also left the game. All three of these injuries happened in the first quarter against Auburn. He came back. I think he'll probably be all right. Perhaps a little limited, but I think he'll be full go. So something to keep in the back of your mind. So what's all this mean in terms of calling this game for the Missouri offense? Well, when your skill position guys are hurt and limited, one, lean on the one guy that ain't hurt. Give the ball to Luther Burden. Let it be jet sweeps. Let it be a wildcat. Make Alabama prove they can defend him, or make them prove they can handle Burden and Theo Weiss. Some of this will depend, of course, on how the pass blocking holds up, and if it doesn't, how mobile Brady Cook is. But get the ball to Luther Burden. And aside from that, when you have the ball, I don't know it. I don't know why Missouri would snap the ball with more than 10 seconds left on the play clock. When you're not as talented team, which Missouri clearly is not, especially because of the injuries, why would you run more plays? The more plays that are run, the more the law of averages is going to just kind of take over and talent's going to win out. Shorten the game. Let it be at your pace. You're 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 limiting how much your players can get hurt more. You're protecting them, and you're also keeping Alabama's offense on the sideline. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, this may be a very kind of boring Missouri offense, and you just hope that it's effective. You just slow, grind it out, and maybe truly become that run first team that a lot of people want Missouri to be. Just grind it out, grind it out, grind it out, and set up a play action or something of that nature. And given all the circumstances where you are going in shorthanded and banged up, and you probably need to win to keep your playoff hopes alive, and you're a two-touchdown underdog to a team that does not lose much at home. You, all this said, throw some trickeration in there. Go for broke when you can. Not every single play, but maybe you can lull them to sleep with kind of ground and pound, running in between the tackles, just doing that, and then sell super hard on a play action. And you have some sort of, I don't know, like a flea flicker down at the tight end, a reverse flea flicker, in any sort of goofy ways of getting Luther Burden the ball, you know, halfback passes, everything. Empty the playbook on Bama. And if it blows up in your face, so what? You're a two touchdown underdog to begin with. Go for it. You saw a little bit more of that aggressiveness against Auburn once Missouri was down 17 to 3, especially when Brady Cook came back. Instead of playing tentative like I feel like they've done all year, the offense just said, "All right, we're going to do this and you got to stop it. And if you do, cool, but we're going to do it until you prove you can stop it." And Auburn couldn't. I think Missouri has to go into this game with that attitude of here's what we're going to do. Bama, you got to stop it. And yes, you're talking about Alabama, who was ranked number one earlier in this season, who was up 30-7 on Georgia. I understand that, but you still have to have that attitude because this is an Alabama team that will give up some plays. They will give up yards. This is not your older brother's Nick Saban traditional defense with monsters on the D line, though they are good, and linebackers that will just eat you alive. And it's a bad day if they give up 10 points. It's not that kind of defense. So, yeah, it's just one of those you're going to have to make Bama prove they can stop it, whatever you throw at them. And you need to throw a lot. That's just where Missouri is for this season. When Alabama has the ball, a lot of times I try to cover a couple of guys just okay, here's some guys to pay attention to. Well, Alabama is, in the spotlight so much. There's no surprise here. Is Jalen Milroe and Ryan Williams. Jalen Milroe, we all know about what he's capable of. Dual threat guy, big guy, capable of spinning it down the field. He's got 6 interceptions, all of which are in the last 3 games. So, if defensive scheme Corey Batoon, if they can generate some sort of pressure first off, but then also have something that confuses them in the secondary, generate some turnovers. Missouri will need turnovers. Probably got to win it by more than one turnover margin. That is, they got to have that to win this game, I think. So, yeah, make the guy who's thrown some interceptions throw some more. That's huge. And then Ryan Williams, man, this guy. By the way, have you heard he's 17? We'll make sure you guys knew that. I don't know if you've heard that before. Bama fans are rolling their eyes at that joke they've heard every single week. But the kid's crazy good. And he is 17, which makes it all the more ridiculous. You know, I think Dre Norwood is the only corner that is that you trust for one-on-one coverage. I think you're going to have your two safeties over the top in cover two. At least that's what I would do with Missouri's corners and a threat like Ryan Williams out there. I don't think Toriano Pride is capable of hanging with them. Nick DeLoach, I think, will be good. He's just not ready. He's not ready for that yet. As promising as he is, and how good I think he'll be in a couple of years, not this week. So Dre Norwood, I'd be forcing him to just follow Williams around and just live or die with it because I think it's your best bet with safety help. And with that, you need Marvin Burks to get some discipline. He wants to be a linebacker so bad to go just blow up the run, and he gets sucked up so badly so many times. He's got to understand the position he plays is called safety for a reason, that he is the safety valve against the deep ball and a corner getting beat. And he's got to settle out against that. I think you have to give Ryan Williams so much attention and contain him as best you can. He's going to get his to an extent, but don't let him go nuts for 10 catches, 200 yards, and a pair of touchdowns, anything crazy like that. You have to you have to limit it at least some. It's I don't know, guys. You have those two guys, and all right, here's how you slow them down. Well, They're real, real good. It's going to be hard to do. The interesting thing with this Alabama team will be what their mindset is heading into this game. There's two different ways it could go, really. They could be in like a really feeling the pressure, almost panic mode of we haven't had two losses before November since the Bush administration. What are we doing here? And feeling the pressure from the fans that are, the vocal fans who are pissed online and everything else. They could be hearing that and they could press. Or after coming off a loss to Tennessee, LSU next week, maybe they're not as interested in this game. Or what I consider to be the more likely scenario, Alabama says, hey, we've already got two losses. We know we have to win out. We're not getting into this college football playoff with three losses, with two of them being Vandy and Missouri. That that would never happen. I think they're going to be kind of like the dangerous animal backed into a corner, and I think they're going to be very, very dangerous. And I think the score is going to reflect that. Uh, moving on to the picks here. It's tough, guys. Missouri is a two touchdown underdog for a reason. I think that's going to jump. I'm filming on Wednesday afternoon. I think it's going to jump as the rumblings of Missouri's health status kind of comes out and becomes clearer. Doesn't matter to me. Alabama's going to come out desperate. Missouri will do some good things, but Alabama's just more talented. Missouri's too banged up. It was going to be hard if they were healthy, but the injuries are just making it impossible for me. Got the Tide 34-17. David, he's less optimistic than me. And normally he's the optimistic one. You can see the score there. He's picked it. He's got 35-10. Injury is a big part of it. And just slowing down the passing attack of the Tide, that's a big problem. And Missouri just doing anything on offense with the injuries. That's really going to be the story of this game. Let's just throw this out there. If Drew Pine is the quarterback for any extended period of time, our picks go out the window, and the score is whatever Kalen DeBoer wants it to be. That's the long and short of it. If Brady Cook can't go, Bama names the score. We saw that against Auburn. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Not impossible for Mizzou to shock the world here. Carolina almost did it 2 weeks ago, so we'll see. That's it, guys. Keep tuning here to Under the Yard Sports for all the things happening in the world of St. Louis sports. Cardinals off season is going to be interesting. The Blues looking pretty solid. Mizzou basketball coming up. We'll see what they got for us this year. Till next time, thank you for watching.